Wants to do the non-QM. Hello, everybody. It's Friday.
Good morning, Friday.
And as you can see, I'm a ray of sunshine.
Are you? Oh,
I told you this is that.
That's that great cup.
That's that left-handed tea cup. It has to come from the UK because the thing's on the wrong side. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why I have tea in it, because that's just how that's supposed to be.
The UK.
British, wrong side of the road.
Wrong side of the road. Although they say it's the right side. It's really the left side.
Right.
Right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah.
They should just make them all one ways, and then it'd be the same.
That would be easy.
Yeah.
The other thing I think they should have done when they start making highways is dedicate one highway for the truckers, the other highway for us common folk.
Oh, common folk. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, my question is, why do they have international freeways in Hawaii?
That is a very good question.
They have interstates.
They have interstates. Yeah.
I know you can't get out of there, so
I haven't seen a bridge yet.
Yeah, or here's a barge backing up. Get on your little ferry, and we'll take you across.
Well, maybe they mean days. Interstate, INNER.
Yeah, but that's usually cross. Anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah, we digress.
Yes, rates are fluctuating this week. They got better. They got worse. They got better. They got flat. Inflation came out lower than they expected, but we don't really know if that's where they're going to stay at.
Sales are up.
Yep, and that's like we said. And we were talking before the show. I was listening to some people talking about kind of almost like what we say all the time is we're going to see over the next couple of months some ups and downs potentially. Now, if inflation doesn't come back next month, right, which possibly will, or if it does, because the biggest thing that made it lower was because oil prices right now have went down, the fuel costs. And
show me that thing.
Okay, so I'll show you that thing, but I was going somewhere else first, but I guess I'll
go ahead.
There.
No,
all right,
do it.
So we're talking about fuel, and if you want to know how to calculate what a gallon of gas should be nationwide, this is how you do it. You take the price of a barrel times it 1.5, and that's the cost to convert. So it costs like half of it to convert it to gas. There's 42 gallons of gasoline in a barrel. Did you know that? I didn't know.
I did not know.
And then you add a 20% markup in taxes. This is outside of California, of course, because we probably have a 50% markup in taxes.
I think it's a little bit higher than that.
Yeah, and that equals a cost a gallon of gas. So if oil's at $90, you do all this calculation, that will equal what that gallon of gas should be and get to. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we've been seeing is a lowering of fuel because, one, people aren't driving as much because there's less consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Second, the strategic oil reserves, when they release what they released, that is actually going away in September. So we're not going to see that anymore. So gasoline could go up. We could see inflation pop its head again.
Right.
And they're saying that we're going to see that for potentially in September. Or I should say August and September, and then it should start going back down the last quarter. So like we've been saying, October is the number we're thinking, right? And that's pretty much what we're going to see. So last quarter of this year, we're going to see rates in the 4s, potentially into the first quarter of next year. That's what we're seeing, but just be careful out there. One of the reasons, and I was telling you before, the reason that you don't see rates as low as they could be, or where you can get less costs in the rate, right? We say par, which is in reality what we mean is no cost for that rate, not par, because there actually is a cost to originate that loan, so there's no par. And we were talking about that, where if I originated a $500,000 loan, there's about $8,000 in cost, and so when sold to the person that's going to buy it, they pay $5,008 for that. I'm sorry, $508,000 for that, and then they have to recoup that cost over the next 4 years. Well, when they see that we're not going to keep these loans for very long, like 6 months to a year, they don't want to keep producing those and go into loss. And that's why a lot of these mortgage companies who've been originating, you see in millions of dollars of losses because of stuff like that.
Right.
So
cost.
So that's why I was explaining when I priced out a second home the other day, that Fannie and Freddie doesn't really want it. Normally we used to be able to do 10% down, get a great rate, get right in. Now they're at 20% down. It was like 5, and this is just an example. I don't want anybody coming after me for APR.
Yeah.
It was 6.875 with an $8,000 cost for 20% down, but at 25% down, it dropped down to like 6.375. And a
little bit less cost.
Yeah, a little bit less, a lot less cost, like $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
But what's weird is, prior to the change of Fannie and Freddie, it was like a difference from a primary residence to second home was only about an eighth difference in the rate, right?
Mhm.
And then to get an investment property was probably 5/8 different in the rate. Now it's like 1 1/4 difference in the
Right.
rate.
They don't really want those.
They don't want them right now. It will change, just like everything else changed. When there's less wanting of it, they're going to then want them, right?
Mhm.
Because they just thought there was just too many people were buying second homes, buying investment properties, and they just didn't want that.
They don't want the risk.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if bubble, what's the first thing they go if there was a bubble? Second home
and the investments.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're not having a bubble. We're not having it.
Yeah.
But
we keep saying that.
Bubble.
I think we're true.
Well,
I think we're true to our word.
They said we'd see a slowdown. Well, we saw a slowdown, meaning that just not as many people are writing offers and looking right now, and they're afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you were saying, somebody were like, "Oh, we're going to wait."
Right.
What are you going to wait for? Higher prices?
Yeah, exactly. Higher prices, maybe a little bit lower interest rate, but higher prices in October. So what are you going to do?
You're going to compete with other people and slap on another 25 or 30,000 because everybody's going to be wanting it. And that's another thing I want to get into about affordability, right? Right now, affordability is really low, meaning that people can't afford right now. But when rates start going back down, the affordability is going to go back up. And also people are actually making more money right now, and their actual income's increasing. So in another, 3 to 6 months, they're going to have more money. They're going to have now lower rates, and they're going to have affordability. And guess what? Yeah. What's going to happen? What we've just been saying.
Well, we've been talking about it for a couple of months is you're going to have more competition in the market. So buy now. I mean, there's a little bit of competition depending on the price range, but buy now.
Right. I think a lot of people get scared because we keep saying something completely opposite of what they think.
Right.
Everybody keys into, well, in 2008, this is not it. 2008. We don't have 3.5 million homes on the market. We didn't overbuild. We have not. We're short.
We didn't have a ton of liar loans as well. The loans that were subprime. That of course you can afford this, and don't worry about it because in 13 months we'll just refi because interest rates are going to stay low, and price values are going up. Here in California, it's always going to go up. It's never going to go down until something happens.
It has. Well, something drastic had to happen.
Well, something drastic did happen. Yeah,
in 2008.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen. Things are going to continue. And plus, right now, people who own their homes have more equity in their homes than they've ever had equity. 1/3 of all homes have no loans on them.
Right.
Of the other 2/3, half of them have more than 50% equity in them.
Half of 2/3. What is that?
I don't know. That's like another third. I mean, up to half of them. It could be 5/8.
I love the maths.
You like those
maths? I thought it was interesting yesterday at our meeting that the one kid was talking about, in mortgage but how horrible it is because this crazy topsy-turvy crazy market. And you and I looked at each other like, what is he talking about?
I used to be a salesman. Remember that? Was that from Glengarry Glen Ross?
Yeah.
In the back.
Yep.
Yeah.
I used to be.
I looked at him and went, okay, this is the market. This is what is normal. The last 2.5 years was you want a loan? Okay, come on in. Let's get you a loan. Talk to 10 people, got 10 loans. Now it's like, this is how it is. You talk to people, two out of 10 are going to be able to go forward with it right now. Yes, with affordability increasing going forward, you're going to get closer to 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be what we went through when we did the volume we did in the second half of 2020 into the first half of 21 is the most volume we've ever done. It's like 10 to 15 years of volume.
Packed in 2 years.
Yeah, it was just so much. And so anybody, you didn't have to be, you could have been just starting and doing 10 loans a month. It was no big deal. But now you actually have to get back to working with agents, working with everybody.
Yeah. And doing your job.
Yeah. And do it well.
Yeah. Do it very well. Follow up.
But
and same thing on the real estate side is, back in 2005, 2006, if you fogged a mirror, you were selling homes. 2020 and 2021, if you fogged a mirror, you were selling homes.
Right.
If you're working with buyers, it was a little bit tougher, but you could still sell a home. Just competition was tough.
You wanted to be the listing.
You wanted to be the listing agent. The listing agent. You
were the prom queen.
And man. I think a lot of agents who started in 2020 and 2021 are now looking at it, going, "Oh wait, I got a listing and I put it on the market, and it's been 2 weeks. I only have 2 offers. I don't have 43 in 2 days.
Right.
Well, it's okay. You can only sell it to one person."
Right. And I saw so many people's like, look what I did. I sold this house for 50,000 over asking, and I should sell your house for you next. It's like, okay, well, I actually hired a chimpanzee on the last one, and they were able to do 10% over.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry, to chimpanzees. That was insulting
to chimpanzees, right?
Well, no, you have to understand. It was low-lying fruit. It was easy. You just get it's like going to an orchard. You get the ones right on the bottom, no big deal. To get that other stuff, you got to climb the ladder, get up there.
Yeah, I'm guilty of bragging about it too, but it's really nothing to brag about. It
works.
You look at it as a marketing concept, and it kind of works.
But the difference is, did you have any issues? No.
Yeah, no.
When you sold it,
no.
You did make sure, even though it was a seller ridiculous market where you were like, take it or leave it. You guys made sure that the inspections were correct. Everything was good on that house, and there was no problem. It was the other agents who were newer that just said, sorry, we're not doing anything. Deal with it.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the market we're in right now. Is you can get some repairs, or you can get some credits. You can do things with condition of the property. And back in the bank owned days, remember those?
Oh, those are horrible days.
Oh, but as a buyer, you had to satisfy yourself with the condition of the house because you knew you weren't going to get anything. You could ask, and sometimes they'd say yeah, and sometimes they say no, depending on the inventory manager for which bank, and depending on what it was. With health and safety, usually you can get it done. Right.
Same with the short sales back then.
Yeah, exactly. Cosmetics, nah.
But what the issue back then was, all the banks were like, if you want this, you have to get qualified with us.
Right.
And use not the best people, just use whoever they had. And that's why a lot of the great loan officers left banks and went elsewhere. I'm not saying they're all gone.
Right. Well, and the banks found out later on that you can force them to get qualified through you, but you can't force them to use you.
Right.
So that
unlike builders.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even though builders are not supposed to force you with VA or FHA.
Right. But they do.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You owe me a Coke.
Poke. Jinx. Right.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like this market that we're in right now.
Kinder, gentler.
That's
my phrase. I'm sticking with it.
A little bit slower, but I'm talking a skosh slower.
Not like when they put Ted back together. I told you, useless freaking movie knowledge.
Exactly.
I told Johnny, you did put me back together wrong.
What is that from?
Ted, the movie Ted.
Okay.
Well, all right, when he gets tore up, and they sew him back together, and the next morning.
That was in number 1, right?
Yeah, and the next morning he comes back to life, and he's like, Johnny, I'm so happy you're happy. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, I do that stuff real well.
You do. You do. It means you watched the movie a couple times.
No, I just remember shit.
Yeah,
sorry. That's
one
of those memories.
That's why guys are so good at Trivial Pursuit. Yeah. We've got a lot of trivial knowledge.
Well, yeah. Useless.
Yeah.
On Joe Dirt, just laughs the garden, just dig it.
Oh my God.
Big guy in a little coat.
Is this, there's a buddy of mine, Jack Wooten, who always says Jack's starting off good. Yeah, we're starting off bad and tapering.
Yeah, Jack's a really good guy.
Yeah. Love that guy.
It's funny when I occasionally run it and he's, we haven't done a deal in so long. This is nice.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Great. There's a lot of great agents in this town. You just need to work with the right ones.
There really are. There are a bunch of rock stars, just great agents. And I'm not saying rock stars as far as production. I mean, production is tertiary. It's just not that important to the buying public and to the selling public. They want to know, can you get my job done?
Right.
Nobody cares how much dollar volume you sold. They want to make sure that you can get their job done.
Right.
Every agent will disagree with me.
Right.
But
especially the ones that have all their team write it underneath them.
Yeah. But if it's okay to disagree with me, but if you disagree with me, if I agree with you, we're both wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that was too much for me.
Yeah.
It's like numbers.
It was deep. Yeah. It was like maths.
All right.
We've been on for 14 minutes already.
Yeah, and we said we had nothing to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
See how that works?
Well, actually, when we have nothing to talk about, we talk about the most.
Okay, gotcha. All right. I mean, just again, if you're don't worry about the market. It's not going down. It's not, people keep saying that. I'm just saying, focus on, can you qualify? Is the payment good? Let's move forward.
Are you employed?
And you're going to refinance, period. That's just going to happen. And if you're thinking about refinancing right now, like because we have the most equity we've ever had, you want to put a pool in, you want to do some stuff, and you're going to take you from a 2.99 or 3.5 to like 4.5 or whatever the rate is today. I don't know. Do it, because we'll be able to refinance you later, because you have so much equity. You might as well use it right now.
Yeah.
And do what you're doing.
Improve your stuff. You're going to get an improved value too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's a pool like I'm doing.
Well, it adds a little value, but it also it adds enjoyment.
Right. That's the most important thing for us, because it's like you can't have grandkids over and have a barbecue outside and everybody's, look at that little pool there, that plastic pool.
Yeah. No diving. Johnny, get off the roof.
Yeah. I was talking about the plastic pools, not the real.
Oh, I know exactly what you were talking about. That's why you don't want to dive in them.
All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for allowing us to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. And listening to us.
Yeah. And remember, Saturday noon, we have Real Estate Jerky, the radio show, the actual radio show on 1360 AM. We have, Betsy Hirsch Younger coming on from Tuolumne County, talking about what's going on up in Tuolumne County. She's going to tell us about a bunch of places you can buy and look at, which has lakes, which is shocking. I wish I would have known that.
Really kind of cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know there were that many lakes up there.
I didn't know that either, up in Twain Harte and Sugar Pine.
Yeah, I knew of a few, but I
knew like the big ones. Like I know the reservoir, the Lions Reservoir, that nobody has a house around.
Right.
You have to like fish from it, but you can't get in it. Even though your dogs can get in it. And then right up the river from it, that goes, the river hits right. You can get in the river, but you can't get in the lake. Figure that.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well,
state run.
I think it was owned originally by PG&E. So. Yeah.
Interesting.
Shocking. So check out the radio show. If you don't want to listen to it on 1360 AM on Monday, it will be on a podcast and the YouTube channel of Real Estate Jerky and myself. And eventually we'll get it under Mike. We're getting there. What's the matter?
Under Mike. I was trying to get under the mic.
Gotcha.
I'm so literal.
That's right. All right.
Have a great Friday, everybody. Enjoy the weekend.
Yes. I think it's going to be a little warm out there. So stay hydrated.
I love it. Yeah, stay hydrated.